You have no idea. Like, you don't know.
Bend this a little. Good job. No.
Like that?
Like, see how the shape of this one?
Oh,
yeah, so it's more in the... There you go.
Yeah, right there. But I want you to be able to see my face.
I can see some of it.
But not the good parts.
Yeah, I can see the good parts fine.
Yeah.
Also...
What?
What good parts? What do you think are the good parts of you? The nose?
No. That it's 100% not one of the
What,
good
the
parts.
beard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
What do you mean? This is a quality beard.
Did you say it's a koala-y beard?
It's a quality beard.
It is a koala-y beard.
Is it?
It looks a bit like a koala.
Really?
Yeah.
In what parts?
The beardy parts.
What does a koala beard look like to you?
A koala?
So does it just look like I have the face of a koala on the side of my face?
No, it looks like a koala is hugging the underside of your face.
Which part is the head and which part is the tail?
You don't want to know which part is the wiener?
It's against my cheek, isn't it? It's just resting on my cheek.
The inside.
Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, everybody! Welcome to the Media Lunch Break, bringing you all of your comic, geek, and movie news all in the time it takes to eat a good sandwich and then have yourself a nice muffin. My name is Chris Trebo. Alongside me, as always, is my co-host Andrew Dunn. Say hello, Andrew.
There's nothing like a good koala fellatio joke to kick things off.
Right? It's comic gold every single time. Tried and true, staple.
Yep.
All right, boys and girls, children of all ages. There was a movie. There is a movie still. It came out. It's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to be glorious. I've not seen it. I've been busy. Andrew has seen it.
I sure have.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to try really hard not to ruin it for me because it's probably one of the last good things I have left in my life.
Wow.
Before my bundle of joy arrives, of course.
I was going to say,
blah,
geez.
blah, blah, fucking blah. No, I've been wanting to see this movie. It makes it difficult because, and I can't believe I married her. Sarah is not huge on Guardians of the Galaxy.
She saw the first one and
didn't like it. Yeah, I know. It's a thing. It's a thing.
All right, man.
She didn't. I don't think she said it was bad, but I'm pretty sure
she got 15 minutes in and she was like, I mean, I get the idea.
I get the idea. But she wasn't like wowed by it.
That's amazing.
I find that amazing as well. And that's why I married her, because she never ceases to amaze me. But so she has like no real drive to go see the second one, which makes it harder. But also we've been like doing baby shit.
Well, look,
blah, blah, blah.
I actually I've seen it twice now, and I do want to see it a third time.
We're going to see it.
Well, I want to see it in the real IMAX where we saw Civil War.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're doing that.
And I'll say as well, yeah. If she wasn't big on the first one, the second one is.
I'm sure it's like louder, more colorful.
A little. It's mostly the same.
Okay.
Look, it's got a different plot. It moves the story forward in a different way. Certain parts are better than others. Certain parts are worse than others. But if she wasn't big on the first one, she's not going to be big on the second one.
So that's been doing that. We've been interviewing doulas and doing all sorts of weird shit that none of you people without kids will have any idea what I'm talking about.
Wait, do you already have kids?
No, but it sure as hell feels like it. Oh boy.
I don't like the way this is headed.
At my level of exhaustion.
No, your level of talking about your life. I just don't.
Oh no, believe me, I am actually like, I could not be more excited about this. Like, I'm really excited about having a kid.
No, see, that's the shit I'm talking about. I'm real sick and tired of hearing about that already.
I'm sorry, you're right. It has been a long half hour for you, hasn't it? Sorry about that. I'll drop it. I'll tell you what. I'll let you know when the kid's born, and then we'll pick it up from there.
If you don't,
you'll catch it on Facebook.
I don't want to.
By the way, we have not. If you've noticed, we have not. The reason you didn't know is because we have not officially announced it on Facebook. You are the last person we were waiting on before we said it. I was like, you can't put it on Facebook yet. And she's like, why? And I was like, I want to tell Andrew. And she's like, so tell him. And I was like, no, I want to do it on Mike. I kind of want to do it just to spring it on him on Mike.
Do you guys have any names? We
do, actually. We have names for, like, our entire family. Because we want to have more than one. And we've kind of figured out names for...
Wait, so your kid's going to have, like, 40 names?
What? No, we have names for multiple kids, is what I'm saying.
How many kids are in there?
Oh, just one, and thank God for that. Okay, just one. First of all, I couldn't take care of two. Secondly, you've seen my wife. I don't know where she's putting two.
Yeah, one in each arm, I guess.
I mean, I meant just like
maybe on the back. Yeah, I know. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe in the back,
one in the
somewhere.
front, one in the back, or something. I don't know. It's red. It's just hugging the spine.
Yeah, she'd have to have a backpack sewed into her.
That was my nightmare. But no, we have both. We call it right now. We're calling it Baby E because either we don't know what the gender is, but both the boy name and the girl name start with E. So right now we just know it's going to be an E name.
Is that because of your love for ecstasy, the drug?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Which is also ironically partially responsible for the conception of this child.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so we have a name, and we're just doing all this other so much stuff. Oh my gosh. Started registries and holy shit. There's so many things. So many things.
Yeah, remember when I said just stop?
Enough of this shit?
Yeah, that wasn't a joke. That wasn't part of the show.
You're like,
I'm going to cut all this out because I just genuinely think that you should never speak of your child again.
Okay, fair.
Not just here.
Just ever?
Yes.
Okay. When the kid's out, do I acknowledge its presence?
That's a hard one. Look, you get the dog whisperer.
Okay.
You teach your kid to fetch you donuts.
Yeah.
And
I like where this is going.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Teach your kid how to mix peanut butter with crappy ice cream. Ice cream? Icing.
Icing. It's delicious now, by the way. The peanut butter icing.
Can we also recognize, on the last episode,
yes.
Chris mentioned, he said, I made icing. And then he said, so I bought some icing and I mixed peanut butter into it. That's not making icing.
That is. It was a type of icing and now it's a different type of icing. And it happened because I did that.
That's not making icing then. That's icing alchemy.
That's the same thing. That's the same fucking thing.
Jeez.
All right?
You got so emotional
I'm very touchy about this, all right?
Yeah, you're very passionate about your icing.
Yeah. It's my icing, exactly. Listen, okay, if I'm a bartender, okay, and you order a drink that is a mixed drink, and I take alcohol that is already alcohol and mix it together with other items, I've still made you a drink.
Okay. So hear me out.
Okay.
If you're
like, fuck you.
If you order... You're such a piece of shit. I was waiting for you to take a drink.
You son of a...
So if you order... Let's say you order a bottle of vodka. If you say, you know what, leave the bottle in an empty glass, I got this.
Which I have many times.
I'm sure. Especially since you found out you were becoming a father.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, probably most of the world. So let's say he leaves the bottle there for you.
Okay.
And then you say, you know what? I actually don't want this vodka. Or more importantly, actually, could you give me some rum as well? I'm going to mix the two together.
Right.
Has he made you those drinks?
No, I've made those drinks.
You've made those drinks. That's not true.
Yes, it is. This is how the world works. Get over it, Andrew.
Look, I'm going to turn this off. Look, we had a good run. No, yeah, I always thought it would be our opinions.
You know what? I think you should just leave it on, but you can go.
Look, I thought it would be a 50-50 toss-up, heads or tails, as to whether what finished this was our opinions on politics or our opinions on religion. It turns out it's who makes icing.
But in a way, when you look back on it, isn't that more fitting?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we?
Yeah, so anyway, something happened.
I watched a movie twice.
You watched a movie twice. I haven't seen shit lately. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to try. I'm sure pretty much everyone except me has seen it at this point.
Yeah, probably.
So we don't have to worry so much about spoilers. We'll try and keep it somewhat spoiler-free because I still want some enjoyment in watching this movie.
I'm going to spoil it immediately.
Fine, fair enough. Or just spoil it immediately. Whatever happens. You said there's like one big twist in it.
There is. There's a big twist at the end. I'll say...
Try not to spoil that. That's pretty much all I'll say. Don't spoil the big twist in it.
Okay.
And then everything else...
Would you like to know what the twist is without revealing the character that it involves?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to... Yeah.
Great.
Because then if I go see the movie, I'm going to see the events leading towards the twist.
Maybe. Probably not. But it's... I won't. It's good. Where do you want to start with this movie?
Okay. Let's start with... let's start with plot.
Great.
How's it plot-wise? You said it was close to the same as... Not the same, but it's kind of relative on par with the first one.
The feeling of the arc is very similar to the first movie. James Gunn is real good at that style of movie. What I will say about this movie, and I've heard this from a few people, the first movie had a really solid first act, and the second act was pretty good too. And then the third act was okay. It was fine.
In the first movie.
Yeah, but they have a dance contest or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
This movie is...
I love that part, actually.
It's good, but it's not like a solid, that scene.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. The first act is fine. The second act is pretty good.
Right.
And the third act is real solid.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They hit it out of the park.
Good. Because movies sometimes tend to have a weak third act, especially action movies, because it's hard to build and build and build.
I mean, Guardians 1 has sort of the weakest part of it. I wouldn't say that it is a weak third act, but it is the weakest part of the movie.
Yeah, it's just a lot of ships flying around a city, hitting stuff.
And then a dance contest.
So
the plot...
Still love that part.
The plot of this movie is... It's interesting because it's kind of convoluted, but it all works in a great, complicated way. The Guardians of the Galaxy have been hired by a group of people to protect these very, very powerful batteries from an interdimensional monster that we saw photos of. We reported on a little while back.
Okay.
That's the opening of the movie.
Yeah.
So the thing is coming through.
I had a feeling. I mean, that's kind of obvious.
It's trying to eat the energy off of these batteries. They're going to make their money by killing this monster before it does that.
Right.
They succeed. One of the best opening sequences in a movie ever.
Wow, really?
Yes. It's not just them fighting. James Gunn is great at knowing what people are sick of. What I'll say about this movie right up front is every problem you have with a Marvel movie, this doesn't have it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was the kind of next question.
Yeah.
As we build on the plot, I was going to ask, it's what are its strengths?
So the opening of this movie could easily just have been the Guardians fighting this monster and killing it.
Right.
The opening of this movie is the monster comes right as Rocket is trying to figure out how to get music to play because he thinks that's what Peter Quill wants, and Peter's like, nah, this is way more important. What are you doing? And he's like, all right, fine. He drops it. As they start fighting the monster, Baby Groot walks up and sees the two chords, and he tries to put them together, and it doesn't quite work. And there's fighting going on in the background. Right. And then he finally gets it to work, and we get our first song of the movie.
Yes.
And Groot just starts dancing while they're doing their thing in the back. And, Rocket's getting slammed against the ground. Drax is just getting crushed over and over again. And in the foreground is just Baby Groot's just dancing, grooving.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's real good. And there's a great moment where Baby Groot's dancing, and Gamora's like, what are you doing, Groot? Get out of here. And Groot waves at her, and she goes... Yes, hi, but go.
That's awesome.
Really funny. Lots of good jokes. The first act of this is really, really funny.
That's amazing. Somebody said it wasn't that funny anymore.
It's the funniest movie Marvel has put out so far.
Which is great to hear because I was talking to a friend of mine and he's like, yeah, it wasn't as funny as the first one. And
There's
I was
lot
I
of
find that hard to believe.
There are critiques of this movie have varied across the board. A friend of mine said that she hadn't gone to see it yet. She's a huge nerd and a huge fan of the first one.
Right.
Said she didn't go see it because NPR gave it the worst review ever. Said it was a terrible movie.
NPR, I feel like, isn't
Not as good as us.
Isn't as good as us.
Yeah,
and so
we know.
Fuck NPR. I'll go on record. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times.
Fuck NPR.
Fuck NPR.
Yeah, okay.
That's officially on the record.
Okay.
You can quote me on that.
I've heard you say, fuck the Yankees.
Fuck the Yankees.
I've heard you say...
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
I said fuck the Yankees.
I've heard you say...
Because of them and their fucking parades.
Yeah. And fuck the cake place.
Fuck the cake
I don't remember what
boss?
it's called. No, that's a show and a restaurant downtown. There was a place here that delivered to us.
Oh, yeah, or didn't deliver to us.
No, it did, but it had a delivery fee.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Fuck you, cake place, and fuck your delivery fee.
All right,
go fuck yourself.
I think we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah. NPR, go fuck yourself.
All right, we're back on topic. So, yeah, it's a solid movie. So that's the first act. All right, so the first act is what sets up the first act is Rocket. As they get paid, they're on their way out. He turns to Drax and he goes, "They're going to be real mad when they see these are gone." And he has the batteries that they were supposed to protect. So now this whole group of people is out trying to capture them.
And now it's so now it's a chase movie.
Yes.
Great.
Sort of. There's a big chase scene. This is still the first 15 minutes of the movie, so this is an interesting moment, and it's sort of a spoiler, but again, it's the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Right.
So I feel confident in ruining this moment for you. But they are they are about to lose to these ships, right? They're not going to make it. There's thousands of them. All of a sudden, every single ship explodes at once.
What?
I know. And they look over and they see what you can't tell but learn immediately later is Kurt Russell.
Oh. Star-Lord. Or Star-Lord's father.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
So, yeah, and then we find out that this person may or may not be Star-Lord's dad. Father. He introduces himself as Star-Lord's father.
This is all within, the first half hour?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. Because
yes.
Because Kurt Russell, obviously, we've known for a while, plays Star-Lord's dad, or may not play Star-Lord's dad, but plays Ego the Living Planet, and you see that in the trailer, him introducing himself.
Right.
But I was like, oh, that's going to be an hour into the movie.
No. Well, in fact, James Gunn, I believe, said that there wasn't anything further than 45 minutes in that had been seen so far. And that's not entirely true. We saw a couple things, but he was not far off.
As far as heavy, actual
plot
dialogue.
stuff, yeah. We saw some jokes that were from other parts.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think we saw anything from the third act before the movie.
So happy about this.
Yeah, it's
I
real
don't
good.
understand. That's the thing is, when it comes to movies like this, I don't understand how that is something that's hard to replicate.
Yeah, well, especially you watch the trailer for Spider-Man: Homecoming,
and while I will happily pay money to go see that, and I'm excited to see it.
I'm only going to see it once,
but I know the exact plot of that.
Yeah,
movie.
Why should I pay to see it when I can just see it in 35 seconds for free?
Yeah.
But whatever. So and there's even a moment where Gamora says, "Look, if he's not your dad and he's just some asshole trying to kill us, we'll just kill him. It'll be fine." So they go to his planet. He explains sort of what happened.
Right.
He explains that he came into consciousness as a celestial, which I don't know if you remember from the first movie. They're the ones that had the
Infinity
Soul
Stone?
Gem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's one of those. But when he awoke, when he attained consciousness, he was just a brain. And after a few million years floating through space, he realized he could control atoms and started to mold atoms over him, bigger and layers and a core. And
do they show this?
A little bit. It's not as trippy as Doctor Strange.
No, but just that idea sounds really cool.
So, and then he goes into, this is where I'll start to get a little, because it's about 45 minutes in, 30 minutes in. This is where it starts to get a little bit more of the deeper plot, so I'll start to thin out.
Sure.
Now, I won't go into too much detail, but he goes into sort of what his plan was, what he ended up wanting to do. He wanted to find more like him.
Okay.
So he started looking through the world.
Okay.
And he tried to find life. And shortly thereafter, There's some good guys, there's some bad guys. The Ravagers play a big role. Yondu.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Sylvester Stallone is in the movie as well.
Yeah, don't tell me what he is.
He's. Okay. This is like I said. I'm now starting to.
Right.
I'm just hitting bullet points.
How is Stallone though?
He has 4 lines, maybe.
Okay,
he's fine.
Yeah, it's a cameo.
Yes.
Okay,
and it's a great nerd cameo, but
okay.
I won't say any more than that.
Okay.
And there are great moments with characters that you would not expect. Rocket and Yondu are like part of a buddy mission at one point.
That's kind of what I want to get into now over plot is so character wise.
Yeah.
Anybody stand out? Like, I mean, obviously last
Rooker,
movie,
man.
Everybody was kind of really on par.
Yeah.
But did anybody have like kind of, really set themselves apart or like stand out more than in the last movie?
Michael Rooker is, this movie proves to me that there needs to be, well, at least the first movie proved to me that there needs to be a casting director Oscar.
Oh, okay.
How do
this guy's pitch perfect?
Just in general, like the whole cast. You know? Right. Oh, Star-Lord, the jacked superhero, the fat guy from Parks and Rec. Right. Perfect. Oh, you need a slimy, pervy raccoon? Bradley Cooper.
Sexiest man in the world.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, you need, I don't know.
A guy who can say one line? Vin Diesel.
Yeah, a voice actor. Yeah. Let's get a voice actor with a crisp voice.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel. Great. Yeah. And on and on and on. You know,
right.
Michael Rooker, though, is... Good God, he's good in this.
Is he?
Yes,
okay.
And so is Bradley Cooper. Really shines as Rocket as well.
Good, because I love Rocket, but I also know that like 99% of that performance is Sean Gunn.
Well, okay, so Sean Gunn's the next one I wanted to get to.
Okay, good.
The second time I watched this movie, I updated my Facebook status to. Just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 again, and Sean Gunn is the most underrated actor in Hollywood. He
really is. I actually agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I started to agree with it as my wife. We've talked about this. I forget if we've talked about it on mic, but I know we've talked about it off mic. Is that my wife is a big fan of Gilmore Girls?
Oh yeah, we've talked about this on mic a lot.
Okay, but and she has since gotten me into it as well.
Yeah.
And he is hands down like just. Anytime he's on screen, kills it. Like
he's one of the only people who really keeps my attention.
There's never a moment, and granted, he kind of has that great job of like he comes in, he does a thing, and he leaves.
Yeah,
but he never. There's not one line that he has in that entire series, and that's like 7 seasons.
Yeah, that
is like just A+. Like it is gold. He comes in and nails it every single time.
Yeah.
I just I've told you my favorite line where he walks in and they're like, "Why don't you have a seat?" And he just goes, "I can't. These are not my pants." And that's never explained and it's never elaborated on, but he just nails it.
Yeah. He does it a lot.
And I just rewatched the first Guardians like last week, and coming back from DC, I watched it on the bus, and I was like, Sean Gunn, like in that small character role. Fucking kills it.
Well, and I'll tell you, and it's funny because the Ravagers kind of are in the first act here and there,
right?
But they become a much bigger part in the second, basically just the second act, and maybe a little bit of the third act. Okay. But they are a huge part of the second act, including Sean Gunn. Great. I can't say why, but just. You have to see it for Sean. Sean Gunn alone is worth the ticket price in this movie.
Good.
Michael Rooker is also. So almost every person individually in this is worth the ticket price.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Let me think. Surprises. I mean, you don't have to tell me what they are, but like, as far as this kind of goes with plot. But did it lead you down a path where you're like, I kind of know where this is going, but I'll go with it because it's a lot of fun to go down? Or were you feeling like, I have no idea where this is going?
This movie uses comedy the way that comedy should be used in an action movie. And by that I mean, there were moments where I was like, oh, I think that's probably going to, and then they're off doing something else. And it's gone. Okay. Like I've already forgotten what it was, and we're doing something else, and I'm like, oh, what's going? Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's hilarious. And then about 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh, that's the thing that I was thinking about 30 minutes ago, and it's happening now, but I totally forgot about it.
Right.
So it still comes as a surprise.
Sleight of hand.
Yes, exactly. So they do a great job of that. This movie has there is a big surprise at the end that I can't say anything about because but it is a beautiful, heartfelt moment. Really great. I mean, the third act of this movie is solid.
Right. What on that note? What are the kind of the, the first movie, the main theme, I guess, of the movie was family.
It's the same thing.
It's kind of the thing. It's the same thing, but
it's deeper. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a much deeper version of it. So the theme of the last one was, I would say friendship was the theme of the first one. This one is, who is your family? Who is it? Does it belong to the person who gave birth to you? Does it belong to the person who raised you? Or does it belong to the people you are currently with?
Is it a nature versus nurture type of thing?
Not even necessarily those two. There are three different components, actually.
Right.
It does a really interesting job of, is it the people you're with now?
Right.
Is it the people who, is it the person whose loins you sprung from?
Right.
What is the idea? We get some de-agifying as well on Kurt Russell right at the beginning.
Oh, good.
Which is great.
How is it?
Great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't even bring it up because it's fantastic.
It's funny because Kurt Russell, as far as a de-age, if you're talking about somebody who probably doesn't need a whole lot of de-aging anyway, it's Kurt Russell. He's visibly older than he was, but he's
got an old man.
We've been talking about body. I'm just talking about face wise.
Oh yeah. Well, he's also got the full white beard in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
When they de-age him, he's clean shaven, which is interesting. Yeah. It's funny too because he doesn't look like Kurt Russell young.
Right.
He looks like if you had never watched a Kurt Russell movie and you saw him de-aged in this movie, you'd be like, oh, that must have been what he looked like young. But he still doesn't, if you looked at him and you had seen, say, Escape from New York or whatever, you'd be like, that's not quite right.
Right.
But it looks like it could be him young, which is interesting. And it looks like a real person. That's the thing that I don't get. It's solid work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the third one that they've done. That looks amazing.
And 5 post-credit scenes.
That's what I heard.
Some of them are not. Some of them
are.
Most of them are just gags.
Are kind of like a Howard the Duck type of thing.
Yeah, most of them are just jokes. There are 2 that are. I mean, one of them's a joke and like a real thing, but only one of them is like.
Does it have to do with Avengers?
Maybe it might. It's hard to say. I'm not being coy.
No, you really have no idea. It's that you're like, I know this is something, but I don't know how it's going to play into. I
will say they you don't see the person. They introduce a character that has never been mentioned before, on screen or off.
I think someone spoiled this for me, but I don't want to say it.
You can ask if you care, and I'll say yes or no.
No, because I don't want to say it because it's a character that I don't really know a whole lot.
Okay, then it's probably right.
Okay,
it's a pretty unknown character, but
right,
it's one that is hard to do. So here's hoping they give the brains to James Gunn because I think he's the only one who can do anything.
Right.
With it.
Well, he has signed on to do 3.
Right,
he's officially signed on to
Guardians
write
3.
and direct 3.
But I'm thinking that this character will come into Infinity War. So I don't know how that would work, but.
We'll see.
Here's hoping they don't fuck it up.
Oh, I have a feeling that Marvel's not going to fuck up Infinity War. I have a feeling.
I had that feeling about Iron Man 2 and 3.
Yeah, but this is a little bigger. First of all, Russo brothers.
Yeah, good start.
Yeah, good start. Also, some people are like, but there's so many characters to try and include. And part of me understands that argument, and the other part of me is like, right, but then you also get more chances to redeem it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you don't like one character, the one you like is coming up in 2
And also,
minutes.
we already know they're good at this because they did Civil War, which had 3/4 of the number of people who are going to be in that movie. So it's probably fun. And they wanted more, but Perlmutter wouldn't give them to him.
Right. Perlmutter!
With a name like Perlmutter.
It's gotta be shit.
So overall, this movie's very good. It should be seen by anyone who's a fan. Anyone who liked the first one is going to like this one. People who didn't like the first one, it's probably not for you.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
What's the soundtrack?
It's good. So what I'll say about this is the soundtrack fits. It never feels out of place.
Right.
I didn't recognize a single song.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But does it fit in the same way? Like, what I think the genius of the first one was, and one of the reasons it's so well regarded, is that it's, I had never seen a soundtrack play so literally integral into the plot of a movie.
It's perhaps more literally integral into this movie. They actually, Kurt Russell talks with Peter about one of the songs.
Okay.
The song Brandy. And he says, we're the sailor in that story. He tells it's a story about a sailor who finds love with a girl, but the real love of his life is the ocean.
Sea.
The sea. So he says, that's who we are.
Okay. All right. Is there anything where you went, I wish that was better?
Some of the jokes don't land, but there are, it's almost too many. Almost too many jokes.
Oh, where you're like, let's just get on with this?
Yeah, but it doesn't reach that point.
Okay.
It's almost
it rides
there.
That line.
It's right at the edge.
Yeah.
Some of them land, some of them don't. Some of them are really, really funny.
Okay.
Some of them are just maybe poorly edited.
Where it needs a beat longer, a beat shorter.
Or just a weird choice. Like if it was just a slightly different
delivery.
Phrase. Not even the delivery, but like the words chosen.
Got it.
Or the bit. Like sometimes there are a lot of visual gags that those ones are usually the ones that just aren't quite right.
Right.
But there's some very, very funny lines. There's nothing there's a big part I forgot to mention as well. Gamora and Nebula are a huge part in this movie as well.
Yeah.
There's like a 20-minute fight scene between the two of them that is amazing.
Really?
Just like in a desert.
Wow.
Just going to town.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
But there's nothing as far as kind of like overall where you were like, this was weak or
no, not
plot
like
kind of veered.
No. There are little things I was going to say as well. Nebula feels like she's in the wrong movie.
How so?
I think they did it on purpose because she feels very robotic when she speaks, more than in the previous movie. And she does reveal sort of, she's very mechanical, literally. She has like a robot arm and robot eye. And so I think it's
kind of implied in the first one that she's not created, like that was done to her.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And she goes into full detail about that in a wonderful scene with Sean Gunn.
Nice.
But she is very intense in this movie, and that feels a little out of place because she is with the Guardians of the Galaxy through most of the movie. So there's like these funny guys, and she is just super hardcore through the whole thing, which feels a little weird sometimes.
Yeah. Does she kind of feel like the buzzkill?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a great way to put it.
Where you're like, get over it.
Yeah. And some of the jokes that don't land are jokes that have to do with the fact that she is this very stern stoic person. Yeah. Okay. And they don't quite land. But as far as like a theme or an area of the movie, soundtrack's great, the acting's great, the plot is great, the dialogue's great, the arc is great, special effects are out of this world, no pun intended. Yeah, it's real good.
Awesome.
It's real good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier.
We got to see it. I saw it in standard first.
Okay.
In reclining seats, and then I saw it in fake IMAX. I saw it in like AMC.
Oh, okay.
Like IMAX 3D, but not the big IMAX theater.
We got to go do that. Yeah. That's the one we got to go to.
Yeah, I think that'll be fantastic.
I mean, it looks like that's the screen to go to for this movie.
I think so. Well, we did that with Civil War.
Yeah.
And I also saw
even that that's kind of the movie to go see it, but this feels like...
Well, and that one had, for that airport scene, they had filmed it on an IMAX camera.
Right.
Which means that there's, I think, like 10 feet of footage, like top to bottom, that you don't see if you see it in a non-IMAX theater.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, it's... That one scene itself is what you go see it,
it's
go
worth
see
the
it in
ticket
IMAX
price.
for. But this feels like a movie where you're like, no, all 2 hours...
Yeah.
You just want this.
To be completely honest, the first movie probably had more spectacle. Mm-hmm. This has, I would say, significantly less spectacle. There's some stuff that'll be fun in IMAX, but it's mostly plot driven and character driven.
Cool. Yeah. I'm always good with that. Time. Nice. You want to go on to reading assignments?
Let's do it.
Let's do reading assignments.
So you gave me a thing called The Nail.
I did.
Now, I don't quite know where this fits in a timeline or even what decade came out in.
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about the background of it, and then we'll get into your thoughts. So The Nail is a story back in the 90s. Comics in general, but DC especially, weren't great. Like, the main storylines weren't great. And so one of the things that DC started doing were these Elseworld stories, which were kind of like pocket stories, one-offs, where it was alternate ideas. The Marvel version of this would be like the what-if stories. But basically, and you got some good ones out of it. Kingdom Come is a very famous Elseworld story that it's one of those stories that has kind of integrated itself into the DC proper in a way because it was really, really good. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think Red Sun still has the Elseworld logo on it.
That would make sense.
There's some good Batman stories. One where he gets a Green Lantern ring. And
right. And Marvel famously did similar things called What If.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. That's exactly what I just said, but you were on your fucking phone at the time.
I sure was. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, I know you weren't. That's all right. But yeah, so one of the bigger ones, or I guess one of the ones that for some reason felt like it kept coming across my horizon, was this story called The Nail. The Nail is a very basic premise, which is on the day that Kal-El is crashing to Earth, John and Martha Kent go out to drive to town, but instead find that there is a nail in their tire and decide to stay in that day, and so miss the rocket. And from there, the butterfly effect of what would happen if Superman was never discovered by the Kents. Again, we've had a story like this several different times in several different ways, each with varying degrees of success. But this is one that was kind of interesting. Like I said, it came out in the 90s or so. I think it kind of comes through that it's a 90s comic, but go ahead, spot it. Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, so this is going to sound like I didn't like it very much, but my favorite part about it is the first page.
It is a good page. No, I totally get it.
So the opening, even before the the copyright text, before the who wrote it, who inked it, who did the illustrations.
They give you the inspiration for the story.
Yes, there is a poem that reads, "For want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, the horse was lost. For want of a horse, the knight was lost. For want of a knight, the battle was lost. So it was a kingdom was lost, all for the want of a nail." And that is evidently a verse by George Herbert. What a dumb name. And this is an interesting concept. This needs to be redone right now. Yeah. The dialogue isn't great.
Yes.
It reads like the 90s, which was a hard time.
Yeah.
It was a transitional time. We were finding ourselves.
Right,
it was
exactly.
Puberty for comics.
It is. I mean, you joke, but it kind of is like that. It's just on the cusp of having really good dialogue.
Right.
Like
agreed.
it's not bad. It's not wordy 70s dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's not clip. Realistic dialogue of now.
Correct. There's no naturalism in this.
It's short, but it's short.
Yes.
It's quick.
Yeah. It's not someone throwing a boulder and then explaining their life story and why that leads them to throw a boulder.
Exactly, yeah.
There are things about this I don't like. There's a lot about it I don't like, but there's a lot about it I do like, which is good. Again, they're trying things, which is really important.
Sure.
The dialogue is really bad. I really don't like how Batman... So, spoiler alert for anyone who's going to read this. I guess I should say at the beginning, it's worth a read, but it's nothing to spend more than probably $10 on.
If it comes across your desk, go for it.
Yeah, but more than $10, probably not.
No.
But if you find it used and you want to pick it up for like 5 to 10, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
So this... Robin and Batgirl are murdered by the Joker in front of Batman, and he just loses it, which it's hard for me to buy that. It's hard for me to buy that he just gives up.
Okay.
That he turns silent, he sits in a chair, he doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, and that's it for him.
Yeah, okay.
I could see, because he's the guy who hides it, right? He also like begs with the Joker instead of thinking about something he can do to fix it. He's not. I would have rather have seen the mind of Batman frantically trying to figure out how to save these two people.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
And then failing.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, I was okay with it, but I understand that idea.
Yeah. And yeah, again, these are not things that are bad choices, but there were better choices. I also, when they're looking up the DNA or the structure of the material used to kill Robin and Batgirl, they find that it's from a planet called Krypton, and Batman is the only one who seems to recognize what Krypton is, and then does not come to the conclusion that kryptonite should be used.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of bugged me.
It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah, he knows all about this planet. He knows where it is, where the section is. I thought, I'm pretty sure it was blown up a long time ago. I'm not sure how the blah 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 blah.
Right.
And I'm like, in your Bat computer, doesn't it say something about kryptonite, or can't you look at the DNA and say, it looks like
this should be
or the sun? Like that's one thing that Red Sun does much better than this.
Right.
Is they really focus on his detective work.
Well, I will say the one thing that's different about this than Red Sun is that I find Red Sun to be a very kind of one-to-one story where it's very straightforward of like Superman is the thing. Mm-hmm. By the way, Red Sun, for anyone who doesn't know, is kind of similar to the Nail, where Kal-El got there just a little bit sooner or later than he does in our term. And so
it's
as a result...
like 3 hours later.
It's like 3 hours later. So the Earth is in a different position, and therefore he lands in communist Russia as opposed to American Kansas.
Maybe like 12 hours later.
Something like that. Whatever the time difference is on that. I don't know how the time difference on an intergalactic flight to Russia is. But so that one I find to be... Like I said, it's kind of a one-to-one plot line where it's very much just about Superman and his impact on the world.
Superman has very little part to play in this.
Right. Which I kind of enjoy because I mentioned this when I gave it to you, is that I had reread it and I forgot what the plot was. And the plot is surprisingly interesting. Yeah. Even without the premise of like this hero that we know and love, wasn't created. Do you know what I mean? Like, if this was a plot in the main DC universe, I'd still find it interesting. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Right. A lot of it really has to do with Superman, though. Right. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's called the Nail, is because he is also the nail. Sort of, I'm trying to think of what I had this all figured out, but his presence is still there. Right. In that they are still using his DNA now to make these super soldiers. Yeah. The technology that Joker uses to kill Robin and Batgirl is Kryptonian technology. Yeah. So if Krypton, and thus the son of Krypton, was never created... Right. This wouldn't have happened. It's not like It's a Wonderful Life type of thing. Like he's in existence, but it's just a matter of... No, well, things I did like... I actually do want to say one more thing I didn't like before I get into things I did like. I didn't like the convenience of them stumbling into Amish Superman. Yeah, that one, that's what I mean. Like, it's good, and then it ends so quickly that I'm like, what the fuck in fact, you turn the page and Superman is in the suit. There, and you're like... What the fuck? Well, even the very last page. Oh yeah, they're like, where they turn they're like, we have one. Superman. Yeah, they're like, we have one new member now, and you turn the page, it's just generic Superman. Right. But yeah, at the end, they are fighting, and an Amish family is like, what's going on here? Right. And it's Kal-El and his adopted parents. Yeah, that was the one aspect of the book that also falls apart for me, because, like I said, the whole plot, the main thrust of the book is this idea of like someone is hunting superheroes. Yeah. And either kidnapping them or killing them or framing them so that the public turns against them. Right. Mostly that last one. It's mostly trying to turn public perception. Yeah. Which, like I said, if that was a plotline in the main DCU, I'd be like, this is fascinating. Yeah. It's really riveting. And that's what, and I was like going along with it. And then all of a sudden he shows up and I'm like, well, it felt like they were like, well, I have no idea how to get Superman back into this. Yeah. And we got to wrap this up. Yeah. Because this could go on forever. Or, it was canceled. Yeah, and they were like, well, we got to end it in this issue. Yep, exactly. Probably my favorite thing about this
I guess the one thing I really like about it, and it is a blanket thing that affects many small parts.
Right.
They put a lot of thought into, okay, what is a Justice League without Superman?
Yeah. What is the true butterfly effect of
Right,
this?
because Green Lantern, and they mention this repeatedly, is
Right.
the strongest member of the Justice
Exactly.
League. He is the Superman
Yeah.
of the Justice League now.
Yeah, it doesn't automatically become Batman because he's the most popular character.
Right.
Right.
And he doesn't want it. He's
Yeah.
not a lead. That wouldn't make sense. He's not the leader of the Justice League. He doesn't.
Right.
He works alone.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who assembles people. I mean,
Yep.
he is in the DCEU, and we'll see how that goes. But
Right.
but he's not the leader. He's the guy who sits in the back, and when they need a thinker, he
Right.
goes to his bat computer, and every
Yeah.
now and then he emerges from his cave and throws a couple
Right.
batarangs.
If he assembles a group, there's a specific reason he's assembling
Correct.
a group.
And in this book as well, you see him. Like, it's a big problem when they bring in a PR person, one Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And she has the biggest problem with Batman because she's like, everyone hates you.
Yeah.
She's
You're
like, no one
such a
knows who
dick.
you are. Well,
Yeah.
you're dark, you're evil. People think that you're half bat. Like, no
Right.
one knows who you are. Do you have any superpowers? No one knows. They just know
Yeah.
that you're terrifying.
Yeah,
And
she's like, you're the biggest problem
Right.
that we have.
And he says, yeah, but it's also the reason people stop committing crimes because they're terrified. I am the motivation for them to stop, and my mystery is what does it. And he's like, I'm not changing.
Fair point. Yeah. Yeah.
Really good
Did
moments.
you ever feel like there was because they put a lot of characters in this.
They do.
Did you ever feel like, oh, you're really shoehorning in a character here?
Not particularly. There were a lot of characters I didn't know, but
Okay, that's fair.
Other than that, I figured it out. They still did that 70s thing where whenever a character spoke, the next character who spoke referred to that person by their name.
Oh, yeah,
and they go around the room like that for a while. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I know all these people's names now.
Great, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody gets a roll call.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Or people, they still did that 70s thing as well where they're like, I know, I'll just turn into smoke because that's my power,
Right,
And I'm like,
that's
oh,
it.
okay, that's your power. Great.
Good to know.
Yeah. But no, it never felt like too much of a clusterfuck. And then, you also have people leaving as well. Like Aquaman is like, I'm done with this. Martian Manhunter is like, I'm out. And so is Hawkwoman. Hawkwoman?
Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl. Right?
Yes.
Whatever.
I think it's Hawkman.
Hawk
and
Lady.
Girl.
Hawk Lady.
Hawk Miss.
Hawk
Ms.
Miss.
Hawk Ms.
Jack Hawkness. So she is like, it's a Doctor Who reference. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, I'm going back to my home planet. Like, a lot of
Right.
them are out of the story for a while. And then when others
Which
get...
works really well because, again, that thinking of, like, the true butterfly effect of, like...
Right.
The fact that he's not there, he'd be the guy to go, guys, no, I need you to stay.
Yeah, and he would be able to
And
convince
he'd
them.
inspire
Because
them
he's
to
such
stay.
a wholesome...
Yeah,
he has
because
that charm.
because he's like the ultimate superhero. And
Well, sure, but he's also... That's the great thing about Superman. He's also got that Midwestern charm, and
Right.
he's just a poor boy from Kansas, But, that's
Yeah, I
that
know what you're saying,
motivational... And so one of the things that they do really well is a lot of people just leave right off the bat. And then once the people who are left get taken capture,
they bring other people.
Right, those people come back,
Yeah.
which works really well. You only have half the characters at any time.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even put that together, but
Yeah,
that's actually
so
very true.
it's never all together like the front implies.
That's true. Awesome. Yeah. Any other thoughts overall?
I don't like comics very much.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not really into them.
Fuck them.
Yeah, the hell with them.
So I've got a comic for you.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's a graphic novel.
Oh, novels.
It's the end of an era.
Oh yes.
What if I gave you the third book first?
That would be fucked up.
So I'm giving you the first book of one Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer?
Now, have you seen the movie?
I have seen the movie.
Great.
I do like the movie a
I know.
lot, but I know you've said it's very different from the movie.
It is
which
extremely different.
fine because I like the movie a lot.
I think you will like the book much, much more.
I'm sure I will.
I think enjoying the movie will only make you like the book that much
Well,
more.
because I love the movie, but I really love it. Like, the plot is pretty straightforward in the movie. It's just
definitely.
like, we got to get to the front of the train.
Right.
So really, your appreciation for the movie version of it is strictly visual or artistic.
Yes.
You're not riveted by the storyline, but you're just like, oh, I like looking at different parts of this world. I like seeing that. So to have a book version where that is expanded on, and you can really kind of delve into plot and character a little more is
Well,
more than welcome.
That's basically the plot of this one, but it's a very different. It's a different. It's hard for me to explain, but
Right.
they're still going to the front of the train, but it's
Sure.
different motivations.
Yeah, I get you.
And you still get a lot of it's translated from French. It's a really really good piece of art.
What would be really fucked up is if you gave me the first book, but it's all
in
in
French. Yeah, good luck.
Fucking A.
Google
Just-
Translate that
yeah,
shit.
just like Babelfish the whole thing.
See you next week.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. Cool. Yeah. Any last thoughts?
No.
Well said.
Thank you.
Hey Andrew.
Yeah.
Hey Andrew.
What?
Hey Andrew.
Yes, I heard you.
Where can they find us?
Oh, that. They can find us on twitter.com, where our handle is Media Lunch Break. They can also find us on Facebook by searching us there. You can search for us on youtube.com, and if we get 100 subscribers,
We're gonna start sending out free stuff.
we are going to start sending out free stuff. I got lots and lots of comic book
so
stuff.
many stuff. So many stuff.
So many
just
stuffs.
sitting around here, waiting to be sent.
Yep. You can listen to us on iTunes or Google Play Music.
Subscribe to us. Then.
Yeah, subscribe to us. Give us a good old subscribe. You can also find us on soundcloud.com/The Media Lunch Break.
Subscribe to us there.
Subscribe
too.
to us there, man. You can find us on our website at www.themedialunchbreak.com. You can send us
click.
Yep, give us a click. Give us a flick. Give us a prick. You know what? Never mind. If you can you can find us. You can send us an email at themedialunchbreak@gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon as well if you feel like chipping in a couple of bucks to keep the
a
mics
couple
on.
of bucks. Why not?
Keeps the oven warming us up or the fridge cooling us down because I don't have heat or AC.
It's true. We're just sitting, literally just to balance out the temperature. He has a fridge open and an oven on 350.
Yep. So that's them. That's all of them.
It would really cut down your utilities. Probably if you just shut both of those, right?
Yeah, but I have a specific temperature that I need to be kept at. I'm like celery.
That's fair. All right, that's gonna do it for us, everybody. We did a
Yeah,
thing.
we did yet another thing. They've told us to stop, but we just can't quit.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Until next time. Let's say next week, but who knows?
Yeah, this one we took
It's
a long break.
It's been a minute, everybody.
Yeah, we took a long break. Although they won't know because the long break has been between episode 20.1 and episode 20.2.
Fair enough. All right, let's see how.
Let's call it a
Let's
night.
figure out what we can. We'll figure something out for next time.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll do a thing.
Yeah.
Bye.
Remember
Bye.
that part where I used to like not hit the stop button? You never knew when I was gonna hit it.
That's so sexy.
Did you miss that part?
What about Jews?
Did you?
Did Jews do
Did you-
what?
Did you miss that part?
Did Jews miss that part?
Yeah,
The Jews missed that part, yes.
I thought so too.